and welcome to another episode of the Diplomat Couch. I am your host, Osli Matsikenyeri. On today's episode, we are discussing Japan and Zimbabwe, innovation, development, and a shared future. And our guest is the Ambassador of Japan to Zimbabwe, His Excellency, Mr. Maekawa Nobutaka. Your Excellency, welcome to the Diplomat Couch.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Nice to see you.
So, Your Excellency, Japan and Zimbabwe have over 4 decades of diplomatic relationships. 2025 actually marked 45 years of engagement.
Yes.
Let's begin at the foundation of this enduring partnership. In your view, what has been the defining strength of this partnership over the years?
Yes, thank you very much. And first of all, and I believe that one of the important defining strengths between Zimbabwe and Japan is trust of the people of Zimbabwe. And since Zimbabwe's interdependence, Japan has consistently stood by Zimbabwe, always, and cultivated a robust relationship over 46 years, extending unwavering support and opportunities across various sectors. And meanwhile, Japan and Zimbabwe are also united by our commitment to achieving global peace and prosperity. And since my arrival in Zimbabwe, then at many occasions I always very much strongly feel the gratitude and reliance of the people of the Zimbabwe government or the organization or in the city. The gratitude and reliance about us, Japan. So we believe that this is the outcome of our accumulation of Japan's support and cooperation over the past years. Yes, and so this is a very precious trust that we could earn through the accumulation of the support from the people of Zimbabwe. And second, I'd like to also add as a factor the TICAD conference, and maybe later also then we are going to touch upon. And 1993, then Japan was the first country among the nations to launch the first summit meeting framework with African leaders as TICAD. And last year, then TICAD conference, 9th edition of a summit meeting was held in Yokohama. And for this occasion, and President Mnangagwa and other high-level persons from Zimbabwe paid visit to Japan. And we successfully get that very good outcome and result. And so we feel that through this process, then also through the process of TICAD, then African peoples, nations recognize Japan as reliable long-term partners in many senses of the word. And so last year's TICAD conference in Yokohama, and that definitely deepened and solidified the bondage and so close relationship between Zimbabwe and Japan, and definitely, and so the highest visit of the president and Speaker of Parliament, Vice President, the ministers, all high top levels visited to Japan. All those visits then gave the very good, tremendous impetus also then to our further cooperation. So I think we believe that these are the very important factor of the defining strengths of our partnership.
And recently there's been high-level engagements between Zimbabwe and Japan, including Zimbabwe's participation in the global forum such as the Expo 2025 in Osaka, and then you've also talked about the conference in Yokohama. How important are these platforms in shaping modern Japan-Africa relations?
Yes, pleasure. Then first, I would like to go into the detail of the TICAD conference. And Japan launched the Tokyo International Conference on African Development, known as TICAD, in 1903, at a time when the world could not yet foresee Africa's future after the Cold War. On the other hand, Japan perceived a glimmer of dawn on Africa's horizon. So since then, TICAD has functioned as a central platform of Japan's Africa diplomacy and providing a forum for frank and constructive dialogue between Japanese and African leaders, and grounded in the pillars of peace and stability, economy and society. So marking its ninth meeting last year, then this conference has consistently fostered cooperation and accumulated tangible results for Africa's development. And adding to that, Osaka Cancer Expo last year also provided a golden opportunity to reframe a Japan-African partnership relationship in today's global context. So we recognize that both vital platforms and successfully has intertwined as an engine to give impetus and also as synergies for further deep friendship and cross cooperation. Yes.
Your Excellency, I understand you presented your credentials in November last year to the President of Zimbabwe.
Yes.
Since your arrival in Zimbabwe, what key opportunities or priorities have you identified that can further strengthen the bilateral relations between the two nations?
Yes, okay. So for this theme, then I'd like to then introduce Japan's African diplomacy around three pillars. First, realizing a continent of peace in Africa. Second, creating a virtuous cycle of growth between Africa and Japan. Third, realizing a society where everyone can genuinely feel prosperity through empowering young generation co-creation. So creating a society that ensures a sense of prosperity and opportunities for active participation for all, where the younger generation especially can envision bright future, is crucially important. And that is also a key factor for today's Japan's policy and society, and that is also simultaneously aligned with the goal of the National Development Strategy second of Zimbabwe, and that namely no one left behind. And so we'd like to, especially among three pillars, then second and third one, so virtuous cycle of growth between two countries, and also realizing society for everyone. So I'd like to then focus on the two pillars, and for this purpose, we'd like to put emphasis especially in economic business cooperation, and also human resources development, and also people-to-people exchange.
Thank you, Your Excellency. When we come back in the second segment of today's episode of the Diplomat Couch, we continue our conversation with the Ambassador of Japan to Zimbabwe as we continue to discuss on the development, cooperation, trade, and innovation between the two nations. Don't miss the second segment. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the Diplomat Couch, and today we are joined by the Ambassador of Japan to Zimbabwe, His Excellency, Mr. Maekawa Nobutaka. Just before the break, we had mentioned that we're going to talk about trade and innovation. Japan is widely recognized for its role in development, cooperation, and technological advancement. And Japan has supported Zimbabwe across sectors such as agriculture, health, infrastructure, and education. Which of these areas do you believe is currently delivering the greatest impact on the ground?
Yeah, first of all, then I'd like to point out agriculture. And agriculture is a sector where Japan has traditionally and consistently supported in Zimbabwean side, and among others, Nerika project, the New Rice for Africa project, is very important, and this is also then served to food security and also empowerment of the rural community. And from this year, then we also introduced dispatching of the experts concerning the Nerika technology. And so we strongly hope that both of also then make a synergy effect for this project. And the second one, I'd like to highlight the infrastructure, and especially over the past years, and Japan was engaged in a project of the North-South Corridor road construction project. And infrastructure remains still essential for the development of the country and also the nation building. And today, the fiscal constraint is also becomes a big problem. But in spite of that, Japan also deemed that this sector is very, very important, and so we like to continue as much as possible in this sector. And also, I like to add the healthcare sector, and at the moment, and under the scheme of JICA, then medical service improvement project was finished, and so that's called Five-S Kaizen, and that is operated all through the countries, and about 10 to 15 state hospitals. And last month, and we have had a wrap-up meeting for the results, and we are very much happy to hear the very good outcome from this project.
And earlier when you were talking about agriculture, you mentioned food security.
Mm-hmm.
There's been recent initiatives supporting climate resilience,
mm-hmm.
food security, and vulnerable communities. How is Japan aligning its development assistance with Zimbabwe's national priorities?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So as I already mentioned, we have already been conscious of this subject, and also climate change or the food security problem. That's also as big a problem as also Zimbabwe for Japanese people. And so in this regard, and we like to further continue to the support, and at the same time also healthcare sector, then we like through this project and they contribute to the empowerment or support communities, and also improvement of medical service to the rural areas. And also for on our side, and Japanese government has recently revised and the country's development policy program, and for Zimbabwe, along with the National Development Strategy second. And so with this, then we believe that we can more efficiently and better coordinated, and our cooperation for each other in major sectors and for future.
And globally, whenever you mention Japan, you're well known for innovation and industrial excellence.
Yes.
How can Japanese technology and expertise be leveraged to support Zimbabwe's industrialization and infrastructural development goals?
Thank you. Then I say that we can also leverage our own technology or expertise also under the scheme of the development assistance, and also in cooperation with the private sector. And now I'd like to take some examples. For example, the last year's at the occasion of the TICAD 9th conference, then Zimbabwe Ministry of Mining and JOGMEC, Japanese Organization Geographic Metal Energy Corporation, affiliated under the Ministry of Economic and Industry of Japan. Both organizations have successfully signed MOU for cooperation of the remote sensing concerning the research and development of the mining. And also, as for the business areas, I'd like to then point out some examples. For example, one of the Japanese startup with cutting-edge technology now engaged in with the project of a bird chasing with AI-driven drones, just focusing on the harvest time in the country. And also in the healthcare sector, then also another Japanese manufacturer with a leading technology also is trying to introduce a high-grade incinerator for the medical waste management. Also in the some hospitals in Zimbabwe, in the country. And so also the focusing on the human resources development, then I'd like to introduce also at the occasion of TICAD, the Japanese government has launched 30,000 African talent development program. And under these schemes, Tokyo University's prominent Professor Matsuo also then host AI practitioners online course and since last year, and so to seek then attendees from all over the world. And last year, then 7,000, 7,000, okay, yes, 7,000 from all over the world. And among them, from Zimbabwe, 200 young talents also then participated in this program. And this year, second year, and all over the world, 20,000. And from Zimbabwe, 3,000 young talented people participated in this program. And this program is focused on the educating and training for the further entrepreneurship and also research and development. So in this regard, this is one of the very much promising project for further cooperation, not only human resources, but also then positively affecting the other major areas. Yes.
Okay. Your Excellency, we'll continue with this conversation in the third segment, where we talk about people, culture, and the future of relations between Japan and Zimbabwe. Join us in the third and final segment of the Diplomat Couch.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Diplomat Couch, and on today's episode we have the Ambassador of Japan to Zimbabwe, His Excellency Mr. Maekawa Nobutaka. And before the break, Your Excellency had started talking about some educational programs that have been happening. Beyond economics and development, people-to-people connections often define the depth of bilateral relations. Japan has supported educational programs, training initiatives, and volunteer exchanges in Zimbabwe. Why is human capital development such a central pillar of Japan's engagement?
Thank you. Because we believe that human capital development is one of the very important base or cornerstone for every kind of development, also for the nation building, and also to set up the future network, and not only contribute to the soft aspect, but also the hard aspect of the every kind of projects and also cooperation. So in this sense, to grow and also to develop the human capital in each country is also can be the big possibility and also the potential, and as a tremendous asset, and especially for the Zimbabwe, and this is a very good the case, and also that's why we like to also put the emphasis in further continuous support through the scholarship and also other project, and so for all these reasons, and we believe that the human capital development is a very essential investment for future cooperation, and so it's as a profound, a very precious asset also for cooperation of both sides. Yes.
And from human capital development to cultural exchange, martial arts like judo, academic programs have also been growing. How important is cultural diplomacy in strengthening mutual understanding between our two nations?
Yeah, okay. So Japan comprehensively develops its efforts also in cultural exchanges and public relations in Zimbabwe. So in order to foster favorable and deep understanding of Japan. And first, karate judo. And we are very much pleased to see that both have long been popular here in Zimbabwe. And so every year then, our embassy co-hosts the Ambassadors Cup tournaments, and with the Judo Association Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe National Karate Federation, and the Zimbabwe Karate Union, and fostering deeper mutual understanding and love for Japanese culture through martial arts. And also content industry, including anime and manga. That's also the field where we are actively supporting the overseas expansion of Japanese companies. And like other regions, Africa represents and must be a promising market and in this sector. In Zimbabwe, also the Japanese anime, manga, to be happy and very widely enjoyed, particularly among the young people. And as you may know, OtakuCon, an event dedicated to Japanese pop culture, organized by enthusiastic Zimbabwean fans, is held 3 times a year with the ongoing cooperation of the Embassy of Japan and JICA. And so we believe that this is a very promising platform to deepen exchange of young people and next generations through Japanese pop and traditional culture.
And as a parting shot, Your Excellency, looking ahead to the next 5 or 10 years, what is your vision for Japan and Zimbabwe relations, and what legacy do you hope to leave as ambassador?
Yes, thank you. And so very few words. Our goal is, I think our goal is between me and Zimbabwe is already aligned. So that means economy and business-driven cooperation. That is a very major goal for both sides. And so it's also clearly demonstrated at the occasion of the Osaka Expo and the TICAD 9th conference in Yokohama, that a lot of Japanese companies are very definitely turning to Africa for the purpose of the cooperating in business sector, and increasingly or getting more interest in the business cooperation with Africa, including Zimbabwe. And also on the Zimbabwean side, everyone I met so advocated. And now we are the time for the economic diplomacy. Then why not with Japan? So, and in this sense, we like to then, so as ambassador of Japan and to strongly drive this type of this kind of cooperation, and also through in optimal combination with the current development assistance, we deem as to further vital for the nation building of the Zimbabwe. And also, I would like to make effort to continue also in this area. And I will make as many steps as possible forward. And would be very more than happy to get one more further steps in close cooperation with you people of Zimbabwe.
Your Excellency,
yes.
Thank you very much for joining us on the Diplomat Couch.
My great pleasure.
And as Japan and Zimbabwe continue to build on decades of trust, as you put it, friendship and cooperation, we look forward to a future defined by innovation, resilience, and shared prosperity.
Yes.
Thank you. And to our viewers, thank you for joining us for yet another episode of the Diplomat Couch. My name is Osli Matsike Nyeri.